Hey.
Well, I received an email and someone asked about how do you know when someone considers what someone considers mistreatment? Because I talk about justice all the time, and justice is the absence of any type of mistreatment. So that's a legitimate question. That's a logical question. What is mistreatment? I mean, when is a person being mistreated? Are we going to nail that down, or just leave it to whatever anybody thinks that it is? Because everybody might have their own idea about what mistreatment is. So we want to make that as clear and as focused as possible, which is what codification is.
Yes,
it's
sir.
about clarity and focus. So I would say that you detect and reveal mistreatment by making every possible comparison. Mistreatment is by comparison. Whether a person is being treated correctly or a person is being treated incorrectly. So a codified position on that would be detect and reveal mistreatment by making every possible comparison with how one person is given benefits as compared with how every other person is given benefits in regards to each area of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and our war. In other words, if you're going to talk about whether or not any person is receiving the correct treatment, you have to say correct treatment in regards to what? So you might say, well, in just economics, or when it comes to legal matters, when it comes to entertainment, or when it comes to something dealing with a job, like something in labor or something like that. No, if you're talking about mistreatment in an entire society that guarantees that no person will be mistreated, you consider all these areas of activity, and you have to consider whether anybody is being mistreated at any time. That's the goal. Anything short of that goal is unacceptable, because then you won't have justice. So you look for any form of mistreatment, and that will be by comparing how one person is treated as compared with how another person is treated in every possible circumstance. It's got to be just that tight. Now that means that a lot of labor, a lot of thought has to be gone into, has to be done in order to make judgments about mistreatment. And everything will slow down in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't rush through it.
Yes.
But this will have to be the procedure for the future. I mean, we are existing in a very fast-moving social system. It's been accelerating for some time. Everybody's on the move. Everybody's, gets up in the morning and they're going here and going there and doing this. They're talking fast. But no, things may not get done at the best time like we always want them done if anybody is being mistreated. You slow things down because you have to guarantee that people are not mistreated, but at the same time, you have to move at a pace where that mistreatment doesn't get any worse and that other people are not mistreated. In other words, you have one person being mistreated, then you slow things down, and as a result of the slowing, other people get mistreated in the process.
Yes.
So it's a balancing act, which is what justice is about. That's why you have the scales. I mean, and sometimes justice is depicted by the use of scales, because that's what it is. It's a balancing process. Everything must be in balance, but it's always by comparison. You want to find out who's being mistreated and who's not. Well, then you say, well, I got to compare this person's benefits with the other person's benefits and how these benefits were acquired. And should they be acquired in this manner? And because everybody's supposed to be constructively benefited.
That's right.
In a correct society.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All righty. Okay. Well, that's something that we could feed off of, and obviously from you, it's good information. Mr. Fuller is the author of the fantastic book called The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, a compensatory counter-racist code, and also the United Independent Compensatory Code System Counter-Racist Codified Word Guide. Now, these two publications can be obtained by going to producejustice.com. Producejustice.com. And I suggest that you purchase your copies of this book so that you may follow along with what we discuss and learn, because we are all still learning how to speak, think, and talk and understand in a codified fashion, and that will help us or help you, because it is independent, but also help us as a collective promote justice. So go to producejustice.com. That is produce, as in produce, justice.com, and you can obtain your copies of the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. And Mr. Fuller, I've been asked about this for a couple of weeks because I've been trying to get people to understand this. But you have in the beginning of the book, and also at the beginning of this program every week, you say, if you do not understand white supremacy, then you have racism in parentheses. What it is and how it works. Everything else you understand will only confuse you. Now, there are people who join or who listen to the program every week, some, newly. Can you explain that exactly what you mean?
Because all people interact with each other and interact with themselves in what I call the 9 basic major areas, the 9 major areas of people activity. That's economics, which means how you use your time and energy. That's education. Education just means the process of learning everything that you ought to know. Everything that you ought to know, without leaving out anything. Everything that a person ought to know. That you're not educated until you learn everything that you should know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in order to do what? In order to solve every problem that you encounter. If you can't solve every problem that you encounter, you're not educated. That just goes without saying.
Yes, sir.
We're here to solve problems. That's the assumption.
Okay.
The people on the planet.
Okay.
So you got 9 areas of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Now, the people who believe in mistreating people based on color, who are the white supremacists of this planet, have decided at some time in the past that they will dominate and mistreat people of color in all of these areas of activity. That's their mission. They just made that up and decided that's something that they need to do. And not only that, that everybody on the planet needs to fall in line with it.
Yes, sir.
That the world should be based on mistreatment of people who have color.
Okay.
That all of people's business should be that.
All right.
So now, if everyone doesn't understand that, then you're going to be what? Confused.
Okay.
Because that's what's really going on.
Okay.
That's not something that's in the making. That's something that was done a long time ago. That's a complete deal.
Okay.
And that deal has been completed.
All right.
All of the people of color are now subject to that system.
Yes.
In other words, any person who has color in his or her skin, black, brown, red, yellow, beige, tan, and every white person is taught, either directly or indirectly, that all they have to do is just look at a person or some creature that resembles a person and say, is that a person? Say, yes, that is a person. Now, does that person have color in his or her skin? Well, let's see now. Let's look at the person. Yes, I think so. It has a little bit of color. Maybe not much. Some people have more than others and all like that. But I see some color in that person's skin. Okay, you're a white person. So therefore, you automatically have a duty, not an option now. This is a duty. This is a part of your code. This is a part of your lifeblood. This is a part of your mission for being. You are supposed to immediately go into a mode or a code or a way of doing things where you are dominating and mistreating that person because he or she has color in his or her skin. And you do this 24/7 in every area of those activities.
Yes, sir. Okay. Let's take a phone call before we go ahead on. Go ahead, caller. You are now on with Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. What is your question?
My question is, good morning, Mr. Fuller. White folks have become more emboldened now since the Trump election to be more rude, to be more aggressive toward people, toward black folks, and in the treatment of them now. You go along with what Michelle Obama says, when they go high, when they go low, we go high, or should we just go, when they go low, we go lower?
Well, the code requires me to say this, and that is, anytime a non-white person makes a suggestion about what to do about racism, all I can do is say you have to refer all questions to the person who made the statement. In this case, it'll be the president's wife, First Lady, Miss Michelle Obama, Mrs. Michelle Obama. She would have to explain what she meant by going high when they go low. Now, I can have my own interpretation.
Do you believe in that concept?
Well, I would have to first of all understand exactly what she meant by that. But I have my own opinion about it. But I wouldn't want to speak for her. See, that's why I'm saying, in counter-racist science, we have to be very precise, particularly when we are repeating something that someone else said, because we may not interpret.
I take it as we ignore their behavior and set a better standard of behavior.
Okay. Well, yes, it could mean that, but if she, as far as I know, she didn't explain exactly what she meant. I heard that she made that expression, but I didn't hear the details of what that meant, step by step, in every area of activity.
More passive towards and not aggressive, like they can treat you with the way that's their.
Well, it could be. It could be. Like I said, see, the one thing you don't want.